What's up, movie crew? Welcome to the latest Let's Watch and Let's Stream. Alright, this one's a little bit different because I did not go see this in theaters. Today's Let's Watch / Let's Stream is A24's Funny Pages. Alright. So this movie is currently in limited theaters. I believe it's getting a wider release next week. So I will do a quick little reminder on that. Alright. So normally this is the part where I'm in my car and I'll tell you that I'm getting ready to see a movie, what my initial idea of what I'm thinking the movie's going to be like is going to be, and then I'll tell you that I'm going to come back and give you my thoughts. And then I come back, tell you everything. Then I do the whole like and subscribe, tune in next time, that sort of thing. Well, here's the thing. Once again, I'm an A24 All Access member. And one of the things that I got as part of being an A24 All Access member was a one-time screening of Funny Pages through A24's Screening Room at a discount price. Meaning I saw it last night on my computer before I went to bed. Alright, so I knew nothing about this movie going in. The only thing I knew is that Funny Pages was a derogatory term for comics back in the 50s and 60s, I believe. And I knew that this was going to have something to do with comics, comic books, comic strips, something along the lines, but that was pretty much the extent of it. And I knew it was a coming-of-age movie. Alright, so this movie involves the main character after the sudden death or unexpected death of one of his teachers who was very encouraging for him to pursue art. Has an unexpected death. This kid decides to drop out of school, get a regular job while trying to pursue art. More specifically, he wants to do comic strips. And he does a couple different jobs during this time frame. He's got a job at a comic book store, which is expected. He stole some artwork from his teacher that had died. So he had a case attorney, so he ends up working for that person. And it shows him trying to do this stuff while also trying to make it on his own without knowing what he's doing. This is a very small cast. You see him, you see his best friend, you see the person he works for at the comic book store, his case attorney, and one of the case attorney's clients. And he finds out that the case attorney client has some connections that could help him get a little bit further in his career. So, I want to point out that I knew I was going to see it from the get-go. It's an A24 movie. And I knew with the name Funny Pages it was going to have something to do with comics. And I'm wearing a Venom shirt if that says anything. Of course, the main character in this isn't much of a superhero person. He's writing more like comic strips and think more like Ghost World and less Marvel. For anyone that's like real big into like other stuff outside of superheroes. And there's a lot of humorous stuff too. So there's some dark humor in this. You see the main character's relationship with one of his best friends, his landlord, his parents, the case attorney, his boss at the comic book store. And here's where things go a little downhill for me. There's a lot of times throughout the movie where this is a more realistic coming-of-age movie. It's not like the ones that you're normally used to. Like, people are going through some stuff. And unfortunately with this, some of the characters come across as a bit unlikable. At least for me they did. Including the main character a couple of times. Like, dude, quit being a prick. I wanted to say that a couple of times. And I think one time I actually looked at my computer and said, dude, will you quit being a prick for 5 seconds? So I don't want to sound like I'm hating the movie, but there's a couple of characters in this where it was just like, I get they're people close to them, but at the same time, some of them gave off some weird creep vibes, and I'm not sure if they were supposed to. And again, because there were parts where it was just like I didn't care about a character, or there was something about certain characters I didn't like, it did take my attention away from it for a little bit. And when he finds out that his case attorney has a client that has some comic book connections, or comic book industry connections, he tries to befriend the person, and you find out that person's not exactly a good person. And throughout this connection between these two, until you get to the very end, you're not really sure who you're supposed to look like. Are you supposed to like this guy? Are you supposed to be like, he's not that bad? Or are you supposed to be like, you dumb kid, he's visiting an attorney for a reason? And that happens quite a bit. And because of that, again, I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure, like, if I was supposed to, like, feel sympathy for someone, if I'm supposed to be mad at these characters. And I do want to point out that most coming-of-age movies I'm not the biggest fan of. Like, if you've seen some of the stuff on here, I watch the big blockbusters, I watch horror films, I watch the occasional dramedy, but coming-of-age movies, I don't know if it's just because I'm now in my 30s, or just, you got people going through all these emotions, so sometimes you're not sure who you're supposed to be rooting for. But overall, it's not a bad movie. However, I will say I am glad that I saw it through the screening room instead of buying a ticket full price, because I think I would be a lot more harsh on this movie. Overall, I am going to give this a 3 out of 5. I feel like if I give it anything lower, it's going to be a negative review, and I don't hate the movie. I will say this, I don't think this is a movie I'm going to revisit. But I don't want to give it too positive of a review, because I don't think this movie deserves that type of praise. The main character, I think he did a good job with his part. And I'm going to be honest with everyone, a lot of the people in this cast, I don't know who they are. I even looked them up on Wikipedia and IMDb, and I was very hard pressed to find anything that I've seen with some of these people. So this was a first time experience for me on so many different things. So yes, final score, 3 out of 5. If it's playing in your area, check it out. It's still on the A24 Screening Room. If you are an A24 All Access member, you might still be able to get it for a discount price. I don't know. I got mine so I could see it the first day. I've already seen it. So there's that. But that's going to do it for this one. If you were new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. You like what you see? Leave a thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts on funny pages. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all for watching.